Hello everyone, my name is Dawson Colby and today I'll be going over my unit plan presentation. So without further ado, let me get started. So just for an overview of my class, I'm a 10th grade ESL teacher at Kingsbury High School here in Memphis. I teach ELD as well as ESL concurrent. But for the sake of this assignment, I just did my lesson plan or unit plan for my ELD, my English Language Development class. It's for 10th graders, and within the classes that I teach, I have Spanish speakers, a Hindi speaker, and a couple Swahili speakers. Each class is 105 minutes due to block scheduling. So because of this, things can get quite long. So yeah, that's just a bit of an overview of my classes. Like I said, I'll be going over my ELD unit plan. So here we are. So here are the unit objectives. So for the unit itself, the objective for the students, the goal for the students is to be able to demonstrate how to order at a restaurant in English and the necessary vocabulary needed in order to do that. The WIDA standards connected to this are explaining and narrating, so explaining the different sequences in order to order. What do you order first? You need to order your drinks first. How do you respond to, when a waiter is asking you for your entree, as well as being able to narrate and describe what a customer will say and how it will respond. So these standards kind of go hand in hand with the unit. So for the target vocabulary, I have about 9 vocabulary words for the unit. Students build up a collection of vocabulary over the course of my class. We have word walls and vocabulary sheets that they use for each lesson. So prior to this unit, they had actually gone over sequencing words, for example, first, second, then next, as well as vocabulary needed for cooking, since they had gone over how to prepare a dish from their country. So because of this, the vocabulary isn't as extensive for this particular unit. So we just have 9, as well as this unit is it's a week. It's 3 classes in total. So for lesson 1, the first class out of the 3, it is first we're doing our do now. As you can see, I have a kind of a screenshot of their do now that they will be doing. It's kind of getting them to think about what do they do at a restaurant. Do they like restaurants? Getting them to kind of use some language with that. Then we go over expectations, the 4 B's. I go over this every class, as well as the target vocabulary. So like I said, with these word walls, I have them printed out so they write the word, the vocabulary word, as well as the translation in their language to build that connection. We have the definition, and then they'll do a picture drawing, and sometimes they'll do an example sentence. And they keep these in their binder so they have them on hand at all times. So next for the first lesson, then we are doing the I Do Bubble Map Graphic Organizer. So this is solely me teaching this part of the lesson. It's teacher led, so the students are just sitting back and they're kind of watching me brainstorm. What is it that I do at a restaurant? What do I do? Well, I order drinks. I order food. What type of food? Just kind of opening up our minds, kind of showing them what it is that we're doing. So then after that, we're going through the We Do, which is a YouTube clip transcription. There's a animated video that talks about ordering food, a conversation, a dialogue between the waiter and the customers. They'll have a transcription and they'll be filling in the blanks, just practicing their listening skills, especially with the vocabulary that they had gone over previously. So it's re-implementing that vocabulary. The You Do in Pairs is allowing students to work with one another to understand what is said, what do waiters say and what do customers say. And so they have these sentences and they're kind of trying to mix and match, seeing which ones work for which. And then finally for the end of the lesson, to bring it all together, they'll be doing a Nearpod vocabulary practice. A Nearpod is, for those of you who don't know, it's a application that we have with MSCS. It's where students are able to do a bunch of different things. In particular, record short videos. So there's prompts for their vocabulary in order for them to have small activities and use that vocabulary, and have it recorded as well for me to go back and look on. So that's the end of the first lesson. Going into the second lesson, the second class of the week, we have the do now as well. With this, we are implementing in those dialogues, and they're trying to fill in the blanks. And then we have our expectations again with the 4 B's, and then vocabulary review. If you see here, this is a example slide of the vocabulary. So like I said, we have their translations in their languages, the definition and example sentence, as well as an image. The reason I have the translations is because for most of my kids, since it is an ELD class, they are newly arrived students to the US. Some of them have more English knowledge, others have very limited, and so because of this, we're just trying to build these gaps just with having the translations available for them. And so then we have the second part of the lesson, which is the I do, where I'm modeling a restaurant dialogue for their final project. This is their final assessment that will be the third lesson, the final lesson of the unit. So this kind of looks like I said, it's an interaction between a waiter and a customer. And so we have this example over here on the right. And I'll be basically playing both roles and showing them what I'm expecting of them for their final. The we do is us working together, them working together with one another to practice an example dialogue. This is allowing them to, how do I say, become familiar with the terminology, become familiar with the flow that they will in turn be implementing into their final assessment, which then we have in the you do in pairs. This is them writing out their dialogue. And if that was a bit confusing, here's a bit more on the assessment. The first image we have here is the worksheet that they will be given. It's waiter, customer, and it goes 6 times through 6 different interactions. They have to create their script. They're in groups of 2, one being the waiter, the other being the customer. Each one is in charge of their dialogue and their what they're saying for their assessment. So like I said, they have to have 6 minimum lines per student, and it's a role play activity. It's really fun. The kids are engaged. I put a fake toy food on the table. We have little menus. It's really fun. They really enjoy doing it, albeit sometimes nervous to, speak in front of their classmates. That can always be fun. And then on the right, we have the rubric. This is just a portion of the rubric. I didn't really have much room for it. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be legible. But I have it translated into their language as well, so that way they understand exactly how I'm grading it. As well as in English, and we go over this in class. So yeah, this is my unit plan. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time, and have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.